Kyle here from allmeatreviews.blogspot.com. Want to show some vinyl, maybe go into one or two other items. I'm not going to talk about the review I was talking about the other day, so yeah, why don't I just show these? So, I don't remember what label this issued this. Jeez, I cannot read it. Ear Music, EAR Music, or something like that. Anyway, so I picked up, it was like a little over a month ago, thanks to a good friend online I've known for a long time. He posted something on Facebook about this. I didn't know this. The Savatage, the first two Savatage albums from the 90s with then became the lead singer Zach Stevens. Handful of Rain, and Edge of Thorns. Now, Edge of Thorns, here, I'll get into them, I'll show them and stuff like that, and then my kitty cat wants to come and say hello. You want to say hello? Here's Mocha. You like Savatage too? I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I think Edge of Thorns had been issued because I should have gotten. Maybe I'll do a separate video. I gotta do a separate video on Savatage. We'll show because I have Hall Mountain King, Wake of Magellan. I think I showed that, and I thought I had one other. Maybe not. Anyway, the thing is, when you're in the store looking for Savatage vinyl, you always see the Chris Oliva and John Oliva, the 80s stuff mostly. Yeah, like Power of the Night, is it? I'd seen that one, and Sirens. Occasionally, I've seen Hall of the Mountain King, which is considered their classic. Gutter Ballet, I don't think maybe once. But, you know, I always wanted to get the 90s stuff because that's it. But that's the thing. That was the era of the CD. Power of the Night, Fight for the Rock. That's the one that I've seen many times. I've seen Sirens a couple times. Anyway, I don't think I've ever seen Streets. And Dead Winter Dead I don't have. But I have Hall of the Mountain King and Wake of Magellan. But the thing is, when I bought Wake of Magellan, I think they issued it as an import. It was like 3 or 4 years ago. It was like 2018 or 2019. They had Edge of Thorns available also. They did not have. This is the one that I consider. This is my favorite. This is what I introduced. Even though the story behind this is, of course, it says dedicated to legend guitarist and co-founder Chris Oliva, Savatage 1994 studio album, which was basically like John Oliva and like Paul O'Neill wrote all the music. Most of the band members, I don't even know. You look at the picture here on the back, the four of them. Yeah, John Oliva's not even in there. But Alex Skolnick plays the guitars on this, of course, you know, because Chris Oliva was the guitarist, was the lead guitarist. But this is pretty cool looking, though. Oh my God! And this, you know, I mean, I don't consider this a perfect record, but I get it 4.5 stars, and it's in my top 5 albums from 1994. I mean, of course, 94 is the year of the Brave, and Awake, and Promised Land from Queensryche, although, push come to shove, if I compared this to Promised Land, I probably would go with this. Yeah, look at that blue, you know. Well, it has it's not the most famous, but the beloved, and one of probably their quote-unquote most progressive metal, most prog metal track, Chance, which is, when I first read about it, it was like, well, this is basically channeling Queen's Night at the Opera, not the Opera, Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody, which it kind of is, with the vocal tracking, the multi-track vocals, like 3 and 4 part. It's all Zach. It was just, you know, has the Christmas bells sounding and stuff like that. But I can't remember, because I was a Fates Warning fan. I found someone who was telling me about Savatage. I didn't know anything about them. I absolutely I never heard of them, whatever. But they were telling me that the story sounded similar in terms of lineup changes, and then the story of Chris Oliva passing away. But they told me to get this, and I got this, and I have a distinct memory of buying this and going home to my parents and listening to the CD. And I remember hearing Taunting Cobras, and I thought, that's when I didn't like anything. Like, I had very strong sensitivities to anything really heavy or the guitar riffs, very thrashy. But then I listened to the next song, Handful of Rain, and I kind of liked it. I grew to like his voice, and then of course Chance is the third track. But and then over time, over like the next 3 to 5 years, I grew to listen to this album constantly. Alone You Breathe is terribly sad. I know that's like the second or third version. There were multiple. There was one that was around when Chris was alive. At least one, I think, off of Streets. I don't know about Edge of Thorns. I have to look on the track list, but Stare Into the Sun, Castles Burning. The flow on this record is great. Zach Stevens' performance is tremendous. Well, I don't sound like dumpy, but it's outstanding. The biggest stigma behind this record is, you know, the fact that, like, who actually was involved in the writing. I mean, Paul O'Neill was a writer for them. Rest in peace, Paul O'Neill. But so crazy to think back on it. We were writing and recording on the fly, and John and I were frantically trying to keep the band together, but there was temptation to let it all go. But as long as the music survived, that's the only thing that really mattered, you know. They played here. I Am Mother Earth are open for them. I didn't know about it. I think it was in 93 or 94. And then they did tour for this album in Europe, but the stigma behind a lot of it was, like, who actually was on it as opposed to who's listed on it and that kind of thing. But it's just remarkable how this album, man, this is like a massive write-up. This is very cool. Came out so good to me. I know a lot of fans have mixed feelings, although most fans like it. But most of the hardcore longtime fans still lean toward, like, Hollow Mountain King, even Edge of Thorns a little bit more. But I think it's not, like, anywhere near the bottom of the Savatage rankings. But I think it's, at the same time, it's kind of overlooked, at least in my mind, because to me, having heard basically all the records many times, I mean, all the John Oliva lead vocal stuff I haven't heard many times, like multiple times, all of them. But all the 90s albums, Poets and Madmen, and some of the 80s, like Gutter Ballet and everything. This, to me, has always stuck out to me as having the best flow and the best kind of memorable parts, and the most, in some ways, the most progressive. Maybe that was having Alex Skolnick. I don't know. The thing that I was down about, I got the Live in Japan 94, the live disc, and they do Chance, but they only do half of it or something. Because Chance is like, it's like 8 or 9 minutes. But yeah, this means a lot to me to finally get on vinyl. This is like a, you know, like I said, a turntable cover. I know it got released under a different title in some other countries and everything like that, but there it is. I was looking for this before. Johnny Lee Milton, it says, plays the bass. Steve Wackles is on drums, and John Oliva does some of the guitars and the keyboards. So there. I mean, this is how at my CD I remember it looking more so. But yeah, I mean, this is Symmetry. Nothing going on. The guitarist. I mean, I think I could say that this album, along with Superior's album Behind, helped me get more into Awake, and then basically kind of stomach a lot of the sort of prog metal that emphasized the metal part of them. I wasn't a metalhead, you know. Fate's Warning, yes, but, you know, and when Rush got heavier, but by Taunting Cobras especially, I remember once seeing some comments on, I think it was on Mike Portnoy's message board, of a guy who ended up going to, of course, the Trans-Siberian Orchestra related, went to one of the shows, and he was yelling out Taunting Cobras. He always wanted them to do Savatage music. He was just kind of doing it as a joke, but as I've understood, they have occasionally played a couple of Savatage songs at those TSO shows. I saw them twice. I don't have any memory of it. They just did TSO stuff, but even Chance, because it has like the Christmas bells and stuff. I mean, doing, obviously, you know, 1920, Sarajevo, whatever it is, the Care of the Bells makes sense. So moving on, so I also did get the Edge of Thorns, which is the first album with Zach Stevens on vocals. The story behind Zach Stevens joining the band as a vocalist, I don't know all the details, the origins of it, but the basic deal is that John Oliva, the original longtime singer and founding member, still was with the band, but he also played keyboards and piano. His voice just was kind of shot, and then when he tried singing in subsequent albums, a period of time from basically the album Streets before this, going on to Poets of Madman, it was sort of hit and miss when he would sing, and you could tell his voice was kind of shot. So that's why I don't know if that's the exact reason, but one of the reasons why they had Zach Stevens join the band. The final album by legendary guitarist and co-founder Chris Oliva, limited collector's edition, heavyweight Sun Yellow LP, so it's yellow cover art print, you know. A lot of the songs were crafted for Chris's playing. I remember the last songs Chris, Paul, and I wrote together were All That I Bleed and Miles Away. These are still my two favorites on the album from John Oliva. I can't get this stupid plastic wrap. First you get these things. I can't get that to show up there. And among the prog metal and the Dream Theater fans, the power metal fans, the Prog Power USA, Prog Power communities, this is just like a print maybe. This album is revered, and I've always liked it, but it's almost like the Mars Volta's, Deloused and Francis. To me, this is like the second best Savatage album in some ways. I'm kind of on the fence. I need to do a full video on Savatage sometime, hopefully sometime soon. But I totally understand why people love this album. And Chris Oliva was just amazing. He was a legendary guitarist. He had a pretty distinct style. I mean, yeah, he had the mixture of like the thrash and power metal. The early power metal, if you want to call it that. They were doing power metal before power metal. I mean, they probably had their influences from Metallica to Priest to Maiden and everything like that. But Savatage always had this emphasis on really dense, strong, in-your-face riffs with these kind of epic, almost Queen-like vocal styles. I mean, Dickinson, some of the other vocals were like that, but John Oliva had a distinct style, and Zach Stevens doesn't sound like John Oliva. He sounds a little bit like if James Hetfield were singing more cleanly. That's the kind of thing. I always thought I was listening to Metallica, like a band that were huge Metallica fans, but that yellow... did I? I don't want to misplace this. One memory I have of this album was there was related to Mike Portnoy's forum, and a lot of the fan base was on there. There's the second disc. There was a guy named Dave who started out Mike Portnoy's website and maintained the message board. He used to play out songs from this album, the title track especially, on his radio show. This radio network called Dementia Radio or Digital Dementia. I don't know if it's still around. I'd be surprised, but I was like, oh, I know that album. I've got that CD. Edge of Thorns. He Carves the Stone. I'm just looking at some of the tracks on here. I haven't listened. I mean, I know Handful of Rain much better. I mean, but I still, I've always enjoyed this album. All That I Bleed. Miles Away. Yeah, I don't know how old Zach Stevens was when they did this, and when they made this album, and what he had done previously. So, interesting. This came out in 1993, was it? I think it was 93. 92 or 93. I think Streets was 91, and Handful of Rain was 94, as I mentioned just before, but... yeah, this is really cool. This is definitely well worth the money. Look at this picture of the band there. Although I'm a little confused here. Is that John? Because John Oliva, John Oliva definitely does not look like that now. Of course, through time, but like a lot of people, they as you get older, you do not maintain the same weight. We had total trust in Johnny and Chris to make sure the tour went off all right. Yeah, I wonder if that tour came here. It probably did. Streets was very keyboard based. With the Edge of Thorns, since it was going to be Chris's highlight record, we were like, let's make it a lot more guitar driven. I wonder if that was like part of the deal with it before they knew what was going to happen to him. Zachary Stevens. I've been around a little bit in the music business to know that a door will open and then it'll slam on your ass pretty damn quickly. I mean, he did Circle to Circle after Savatage, if you end up, in effect, leaving Savatage. But I don't know, as much as I really like him as a singer, Zach Stevens, I don't know his whole history, like who he sang with before. My guess is he was in a band in the 80s, so... but anyway, what's your take on Edge of Thorns and A Handful of Rain? Yeah. The title track from Handful of Rain always sounded like I think a Bon Jovi's Wanted Dead or Alive, that acoustic part with like the horseback riding and stuff like that. But yeah, I was just going to update. So a couple things have come up. A to Z I've been listening to. I'm not ready to like go into detail about what my take on it. I like it, but I'm not tell more details about it. But a couple of these albums are coming out. Major Parkinson, I can't remember if I talked about that. Major Parkinson's coming out with a new album, and their first single got released. They had the Kickstarter campaign. I think I mentioned that. It's not a short title. It's coming out in, let's see, on October 7th, so a little over a month. It's called Valisa, Chapter 1, Velvet Prison. And the new song I like. It's kind of poppy, but it's sort of poppy in an interesting avant-garde way. It's like avant-garde pop. Maybe that's a new genre. I can't remember the name of it is. It's called Saturday Night. Well, Saturday Night. Yeah, it's called Saturday Night. So it has a female vocalist, but I've talked about Major Parkinson, showed their live album and stuff like that. That's a big deal coming up. Of course, the Mars Volta. This coming week, it's the 26th of August. Muse is probably and Long Distance Calling's album Eraser. I hope that Leitmotif, I hope I get that. I'll show that on the 20th anniversary. We got pushed back. It was supposed to be late July, and now we'll see. I haven't had any confirmation. You know, that album, that 20th anniversary vinyl may not show up till next year. I don't know. Hopefully not. But let's just see here. Yeah, so the Muse Will of the People and Long Distance Calling Eraser. Of course, King's X is the Three Sides of One, which I got a confirmation email. That's coming. It's supposed to be September 2nd. And then the Mars Volta's the 16th of September got pushed back a couple of weeks. I think the self-title, I think originally was going to be on the 2nd. I could be wrong, but David Maxim, Michich, Bilo 4, Destrade, some of these other stuff, So Much, Too Much. They're for a lot of other people, of course. But that Major Parkinson record's a big deal. Then the other one, there's been a couple other bands that have popped up, but as far as the actual confirmed calendar, Disillusioned, that's one. November 4th, I Am. I liked their last album. I loved Aaliyah, that 12-minute single they released in 2017. But we'll see. I liked their last record. I should go back to it. But that comes out November 4th, I Am. But In Vain is one of the bands that I saw some information about. They have an album they're working on. It could come out this year. The other band that just popped up was that probably some people know, but I should have probably shared it on Instagram. It's related to Major Parkinson, of course. You know, Sandra's band. Why am I spacing on the band from that everyone got into a few years ago? Norwegian prog band. Why am I spacing on their name? I should know their name. I saw their post on Instagram. Hold on. Moron Police. Let me just pull it up quickly here. They have a new album they're working on. Unfortunately, their drummer Thor, I think I mentioned that, passed away. I want to say it was in the winter time, sometime January, February. Might have been a little earlier than that. But they just made a post, just kind of give us an update. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but we're steadily working on our new album, tentatively called Pachinko. Why do I think it was something different when I read it yesterday? But okay, Pachinko. And slow process. It's a very big album, probably a double album. Double albums usually fall into their own ambition, or fail into their own ambition, and this one might as well. But we're having fun doing it nonetheless, and that's good. So songs are all written. We're fine-tuning the demos, so expect to hear from us as we move along towards completion. Given it's a double too, my guess is this sucker won't be coming out till next year sometime. But stranger things have happened. Maybe they'll release a single or an EP or something like that. But it's interesting. I mean, I don't know who the drummer is, but you know, Sandra's got the Major Parkinson, and I don't know if they're doing any live shows. Album coming out, of course, too. But yeah, that's about it. I mean, there's other stuff still we're sort of awaiting. Kimbra's been posting stuff. The Cream concert there with the Music of Cream concert got canceled. I don't know, the whole tour got canceled. This is the second time, so I've kind of given up on them. But I'm looking at tours. The one tour that's coming here, John Petrucci with Mike Portnoy is going to be here. I'm not like obsessed with the John Petrucci solo stuff. It's okay. I may have to try Go. I didn't go to see Jordan Rudess when he was at the Dakota. Was it last month? But given that I'm not going to Cream now, I'm gonna maybe go to. I'm probably gonna go to Nick Mason, but I also found out Foles is coming. Again, Foles, I'm guilty. Haven't even listened to their album, but they lost their keyboard player and their three-piece, and the singles were very poppy. But they're coming in December. That show, and Billy Cobham's coming back. You know, again, the guy's not young, but this would, if I get the chance to see him in about a little over a month at the Dakota, I might do that again. So, I mean, you know, concerts, I'm picking my spots. I didn't go to Local Natives. I didn't go to Cloud Cult. I didn't go to Coheed and Cambria. I'm not probably going to go to King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. I'm not going to go to Black Midi. All these bands are coming here. You know, I'm not going to go to C6 at the State Fair and stuff like that. But anyway, I also have I have a Better Call Saul sort of review of season 6, the final season of the show, and Breaking Bad kind of. And I have the Paper Girls review I did, also the film that I haven't put up. But my goal is that next week I'm off, although I have obligation for the State Fair and obligation for my mother-in-law one day. But I might be able to wrap up the whole Fates Warning series and then start looking toward doing the King's X stuff. Because having done now Sympathetic Resonance, there's only 1, Darkness in a Different Light, 2, Theories of Flight, 3, Winter Ethereal, and Long Day Goodnight 4. So, and then like a ranking video. So there's really probably like 5 videos, and I have a couple extra stuff I can show, but that should be done. It could all be done by the end of next week. So anyway, if you picked up the new Savatage stuff, what's your takes on the new Savatage releases? They actually might put out an album. There have been rumors about it for a while, the last couple of years. I don't know. John Oliva, unfortunately, had an incident. It was about a year ago. But, you know, I love them. I need to do a video of them. What's your take on that? If you're a vinyl collector, vinyl community, what other new releases are you looking forward to? And what concerts are you looking for? I'd love to find out. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed. We'll see you next time.